Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be detailing a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution FQ320. So kicking it straight off with the wheels and tyres, and as always I'm using my Auto Glaze Rebound to draw all that dirt out of the tyres and give them a nice solid clean. Once I've got the tyres nice and clean, I've got some citrus pre-wash in my IK sprayer, which I'm going to give the wheels a good covering in. Now the wheels aren't actually that bad, so the pre-wash should do, combined with the Auto Bright Direct wheel shampoo. Then it's just a case of getting in about the wheels with the various wheel brushes and wheel wash mitts, using my usual routine to get them nice and clean. Once I'm happy that the wheels are clean enough, as always at the moment, I'm really enjoying the Blitz detailing spray as a quick way of protecting the wheels. Once all the wheels are done, can happily move on to the bodywork, and again with that same solution of citrus pre-wash. This is Infinity Wax's citrus pre-wash, diluted at I think around about 10:1, can cover the body of the car in the pre-wash. Let it to dwell for a few minutes before going in with a layer of snow foam over the top. When it comes to snow foam on this one, because I'm using a commercial pressure washer, I had to go out and buy a new snow foam lance with 24 hours notice. So I had to get one off Amazon, and the only one that fit was the cheap and cheerful Amazon one, and the foam quality was not the best, so there won't be too much snow foam shots here. Let's just get straight on with the rinse process. Now that I've got as much chemicals off the car by making as little contact as possible, it's time to go in with a contact wash. For that I'm using again another Auto Bright Direct product. This is their Decon shampoo. As we are going to be doing a little bit of polishing and putting a little bit of a glaze on the car, we do want as much of any protection that's on it removed. So the Auto Bright Decon shampoo has been chosen for this. And we'll just crack on, get the car washed, and then we can start our decontamination process. When it comes to decontamination, I always go tar and glue remover when I'm doing chemical. I like to get rid of the tar spots before I go in with my fallout remover. There wasn't a massive amount on this, so nothing really to see here. Let's just go on to the fallout remover. And this is high definition details fallout remover. I've actually been quite enjoying using this fallout remover recently. It's not as water-like as some of the other products I've used. It's got a nice kind of gel, kind of viscous formula to it. So it does tend to hang about on the paintwork and it doesn't dry out as quickly as other products. And that's something that you need because at the moment in Scotland we're getting some really high temperatures. I'm doing this late on in the evening, so there's less chance of it drying out, but still a very enjoyable product to use. At first I wasn't thinking there was an awful lot of iron contamination on this vehicle. The first few panels that I looked at after a few minutes of dwell time weren't really, just a few odd speckles here and there. However, I then moved on to the boot area and I could start to see a little bit more contamination. And then by the time I'd moved round to the passenger side, front wing and front door, I was greeted with this beautiful sight. I suspect there's probably been a seized on brake caliper at some point in its life. However, now that the car's been chemically decontaminated, we can have a quick look around it, and it is looking nice and clean. But we can get it inside, get the LED lights out, and really have a look at how swirled up this paint is. So I moved the vehicle inside, and then I went on to doing my mechanical contamination. Didn't film any of the clay bar process, but this is how swirled the paint was once we were finished up. Quite a lot of work to do. Now, because we only had 2 evenings to get this done, a correction just really was not on the cards. So it was a case of trying to bring out as much gloss as possible by using a finishing polish where I didn't need to do massive amounts of passes to get rid of any oxidation that was sitting on the paint. And then following it up with a nice glaze that has lots of fillers in it that's going to mask as much of the swirls as possible, before sealing it in with a nice wax to really bring out that gloss. The products that I'm using is the SGCB yellow pad along with the Zvizzer final cut polish. I then move on to the SGCB finishing pad and apply the Auto Bright Direct cherry glaze. Once the glaze was all cured up and buffed off, we then went in with the Squid Ink Aquaphobe version 1 wax, just to finish off the pot that I had. When it comes to the polishing, I'm only making 2 to 3 passes per section, and I'm only going over each area once because I'm not chasing perfection. We know there's still going to be swirls left, we just really want to bring out as much gloss as possible. And because we're using the finishing polish, we can go over relatively large areas at a time. I recently purchased some of the microfibre towels, the ones that you get for 40 in a pack for about £22. This is the first time I've had the chance to use them, and I've got to say I'm actually really quite impressed with them. Really easy to use, and they do really well at picking up that polish off the panel. Once I got all that polished, wiped off the car, and a quick panel wipe, we were good to go with the cherry glaze. And this is a great product. It takes about 5 to 15 minutes to fully cure. So because it's a kind of finishing product, you can actually get round the whole car before buffing it off. That's what I did anyway, with absolutely no issues whatsoever. Just loaded up the finishing pad, and then all you're doing is just going over an area lightly, working that, I want to say compound glaze, into any of those swirls to try and mask up as much as possible, and then just leave it to cure for the 5 to 15 minutes that it states on the bottle before coming back in and buffing it off. You don't need any kind of speed on the polisher here, you don't need any kind of force. All you're doing is just moving the polishing pad over the panel to work that product into those swirls. Not trying to cut here, we're not trying to do anything like that. We're just applying a product. I believe it can be applied by hand as well if you need to. Again, once that was all cured up, it was time to get the microfibre towels out and give that a buff off. And I have never, and I can honestly say, I have never removed a product from paintwork as easily as this cherry glaze. It's absolutely effortless to remove. Again, once that was all buffed off, it was time to get the wax out, and as I mentioned before, the wax of choice for this one is the Squid Ink Aquaphobe wax. Again, this wax actually has a relatively long cure time, so I was able to make it around the whole car on this wax. And as I was finishing up, the roof area that I'd done first was only just starting to give me a nice clean finger swipe. So I was about, by the time I'd done the whole car, I was just about ready to start buffing off the whole car. This is a wax that I've used many times before. I believe there's a version 2 out of it now, which I've not got yet, but I really enjoy the version 1. I remember putting it on my M4 quite a while ago and just really enjoying the water behaviour as it started to rain on the car. So like I mentioned, once the whole car had a nice layer of wax on it, it was just about time to start removing that first section that we done. And again, from knowing this wax, from using it quite a lot, it is so easy to remove. This wax does actually benefit from having a second layer put on around about an hour later, but being honest, it's around about 2 o'clock in the morning right now as we were finishing up, so we weren't really for hanging about another hour to put a second layer on, especially considering that the car was heading off to Donegal the next morning. So just as I finish up here before we come into some finishing shots, I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thanks for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Bit of a longer form video this one, but I think it deserved it for the car and the way that it's came out. So as always, thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed that video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.
Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to grey as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in